This time of the year is usually slow for Mendota, the self-proclaimed cantaloupe center of the world. It's a city of about 10,000 people on the west side of the San Joaquin Valley. Its economy centers around agriculture, and the planting season hasn't started yet. Due to a prolonged drought and a national economy in shambles, the unemployment rate in Mendota is currently about 40%. Robert Silva is a grocery store clerk by day and the town's mayor by night.
Everything is ag-related. You know, people buy things that, even though maybe you're not working in the fields, you might be selling fertilizer, or you might have a truck that's hauling some produce. It just goes down the line. It's a ripple effect.
Right now, the farmers are waiting to plant, and the whole city of Mendota seems to be holding its collective breath to see what the water situation will be like come planting season.
When he goes to the bank and says, hey, I want to plant so much acreage, the banker said, well, where are you going to get your water? Because that's one of the things they talk about. Where are you going to get your water? And the guy says, I got no allocation. Well, the bank's not going to loan him any money for that.
Farmers get their water from a complicated federal delivery system. So far this year, Mendota farmers have received virtually no water. If this keeps up, it could be devastating for the local economy.
You idle one of the most richest land in the world, right here, the San Joaquin Valley. You idle that land, we're all going to pay the price at the supermarket.
When the ranches aren't doing, the restaurants, the grocery store, the church, it's very fragile, and I guess when one thing's out of balance, everything gets messed up.
Eric Hansen works at True Value Hardware in Mendota. His brother, Alan Hansen, manages the store.
We're lucky to only be down 20%. We're going to make it one way or the other. The true question is, what will this business look like 10 or 20 years down the road?
I've lost maybe about 30% of my customers. All of them work in agriculture, and there's no water right now.
Sam Rubio owns Diamici's coffee shop in downtown Mendota.
With no farm work, there's no jobs, there's no money. People just aren't spending money around here.
To add to the town's hardships, last year a federal judge ruled in favor of limiting water allotments to protect an endangered species of fish called the Delta smelt, upholding a protection specified in the California Endangered Species Act.
To a lot of people here in Mendota, they care less about an endangered species.
That's a common complaint on the streets of Mendota.
See, one of the things he's saying is that why should endangered species like the Delta smelt play such an important role in making decisions where a human being to him is more important?
It seems the environmentalists are kind of using this as an excuse to push their agenda. What happens in the next water district? Is it the box turtle they're going to say is endangered and go after the people that way, you know?
Right now, I believe it's just a political situation, and the environmentalists are winning.
And it's not just his business he's worried about.
Let's just say this is as good as it gets, and this stays and it doesn't get resolved. Mendota will still be here, but 20 years from now it could be only, say, 1,500 people, and the store will be it'll only be 20% of what it is today.
In the midst of such dire predictions about the future of the city, Sam Rubio tries to be positive.
In these hard times, you want people to have places to go, feel good about where they are. With the paper every other day talking about how all of these small farming towns are going to turn into ghost towns within a year or so, it's like, well, people have nothing to look forward to. So, whenever you're ready, Mario.
Rubio uses his coffee shop to host open mic nights and poetry readings. He's also organized a youth group that has done things to improve the city, including painting 2 murals in the past year. Earlier that day, he and the youth group painted the town blue.
Yeah, as you can see, the kids got me with some paint. We were out painting some wooden posts, serve as barriers for a park. planted 27 trees out in the park today. Got the youth involved, trying to get them to have a sense of ownership and pride in some of the things they have here in town, so that they'll protect it and maybe utilize it a lot more often.
Earlier in April, the city of Mendota was the starting point for a 4-day-long march organized by comedian Paul Rodriguez. It intended to draw attention to the valley's water issues. Many in Mendota were skeptical.
In the end, it was disappointing because I feel like in the end, with a situation like that, I believe that the media and the politicians are ultimately the ones that are going to win.
Rubio led 2 protests last year with much less hoopla.
We did 2 of them last summer in the heat, and no one cared to help. So then this year, some of the youth brought up pretty good points. They're like, just because the celebrities involved, we're supposed to march now? Where was everyone last year? And I'm like, that's a good point, kid, but keep it to yourself right now.
Yeah. Mayor Silva says if this situation continues, he sees the city's economy moving away from agriculture.
We have a federal prison that we've got coming in, and it's going to be finished next year, and those are promises of jobs. We have a contract with Clean Tech America, which has a solar panel, one of the biggest in California. But we're trying to do things like that, create jobs. We don't want to see people leave